welcome to Novelty with S&B, the book club with a podcast. I'm your co-host, Beck.
I'm Stephanie, and we're here to give you the ultimate December reading recap where we will spill the tea on all the novels we read this month. So grab a cup, settle in, and let's dive into this literary journey. So Beck, what did you read this month?
Yes, so I read the Silent Patient, Peppermint Wishes, Far from the Madding Crowd, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and Hidden Sea. What about you?
I read The Silent Patient as well, because that was our buddy read.
That was our read with S&B.
Yes. Hashtag read with S&B. No big deal. Slaughter Lake, Master of Salt and Bones, and Madness, a young decay novel.
The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides is the first on our list. This was our read with S&B for December. It was a psychological thriller of 336 pages and is on Kindle Unlimited. Alicia Berenson is an artist, and one day, out of the blue, she shoots her husband dead. She never speaks another word after her refusal to talk or give any kind of explanation turns a domestic tragedy into a mystery that captures the public imagination and casts Alicia into notoriety. Theo Faber, a criminal psychotherapist, is determined to get her to talk and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband. This was a pretty popular read over on Book Talk. How did you find it? Let's start with what you liked about it.
Okay, so I actually did like the mystery aspect that kept me interested in the book. So I saw it on TikTok so many times. Like it was all over TikTok, and I knew there was a twist because of that. So
I think in the title it says a psychological twist or whatever.
They probably shouldn't have given that away because that's what I was doing the whole time. But I had a lot of theories going on in my head. But overall, I thought the book was okay. So for me, it makes me kind of want to try another mystery book because I did like the whole what's going on. I kind of do like that. I think I might want to try another one of those to see if it's something I enjoy reading, because I honestly haven't read too many mystery books. I know there's that one Frida McFadden, I think, writes a lot of mystery books. She's also very popular on Book Talk. That's how I know who she is. But she wrote Housemaid, and everyone raves about that. But
yes,
we see time and time again that doesn't mean it's good. But I might give it a try because I do like the I think the mystery was kind of cool. I wanted to know. I did want to know. I don't think I would like the whole cop catching the bad guy kind of thing, but this style,
a detective mystery.
Yeah, no, but this style, I like this kind of where it's not like that. I don't want cops and things that's not
private investigators and
No, I don't think I would really enjoy that. But this was a kind of a neat. I like the way they went about it with the whole psychological aspect of everything going on, and the fact that she was in a ward, and it made it a little interesting. But I think the style had potential, but it was okay. But what did you like about it?
Yeah, so being a Hosier girly, TM, I did like the tie-in to the Greek myth Alcestis. It was, again, very well written. This dude can write. Again, like you said, the twist certainly kept me reading. I wanted to know what the end mystery was, but it was, like you said, very okay.
Yeah.
And that could be that mysteries just aren't my genre, and maybe the whole thing that you said about detectives is maybe what keeps me away from it as well, is that I don't know, I don't really care about private investigators or detectives or cops or whatever. And it could also be the multiple times that, quote, we had sex, quote, was put in there.
I have.
And then we had sex.
We had sex. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I that got on my nerves too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was so often. And even if they were having sex all the time, random, it was just a weird way to write about it in your journal as a woman. We had sex. And then we had sex. And then I just don't feel, even if I were to, say I was writing a journal, and even if we had sex, I don't see me writing it
like that.
And then we had sex.
It was a great day, and then we had sex.
Yeah, we came home and relaxed and blah, 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 and then we had sex. I don't know. And it was a lot. So it was just kind of oh my God.
I think when I first started reading that, And
Mm-hmm.
I texted you. I was like, I already
You
know
did.
that
You
I'm
did.
gonna be so mad.
Yeah, because you
Because
said you were annoyed by something
it was
before I
very
started.
obviously a woman written by a man. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah, you could
she's
tell.
this like manic dream pixie girl and she's perfect, and then we had sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the sex.
That's
Every
that's
day.
when I texted you, I'm so mad. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny because I'm reading the book and I saw that the first time and then I saw it again. I'm like, there it is. That's what
There
it
it
is
is.
because
That's
I'm
what
annoyed. So, so I don't know. It was just
it just took me out of it, you know?
yeah, because it's not really necessary. It doesn't have to do with the story, and it's just and then we had sex. Like it's just weird how it was written.
Right.
Yeah, and overall though, I thought the book for a little underwhelming. I don't know if it was all the hype surrounding it.
Yeah, I don't think it deserved all the popularity we found over on Book
No,
Talk.
it wasn't bad, but it or anything. I mean, it was, I've read a lot worse, but it just didn't have like a wow factor. And I was really expecting, I get so, you see so much hype and you're like, oh, it has to be good.
Right.
No. I mean, and it's not bad. It's really not bad. It's not a bad book. It's just, I don't get the hype over it.
And
that I don't get.
Like
So.
consistent hype.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't see anybody being like, you know what? Actually, no.
Yeah.
It's not my jam.
It's okay. Like, it's not bad, but it's not
But
for
that's
it to
what
be
we're here
that
for.
big. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We're gonna be honest with what we think.
Honestly, honest reviews.
Yeah, honest. So stars, spice.
Oh, I gave it 3 stars. I gave it 1 spice and then 3 eye rolls.
I exactly the same. 3 stars,
Yeah.
1 spice, 3 eye rolls. Do you want to? So those of you that actually read it with us, we're going to go ahead and put like a spoiler version at the end of the episode after the music rolls. So we won't spoil it for you now, but if you are interested on our deep thoughts, go to the very end of the episode and see what we think there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
we'll get into it.
Yeah. For a change of pace and festivities, I ventured into the heartwarming world of Peppermint Wishes by D.L. Darby. It's a cozy holiday romance of 166 pages, and it is on Kindle Unlimited. Evelyn Montgomery finds herself alone during the holidays and books a cabin retreat in Sutton, Wyoming. It's there, in a whirlwind of fate, that she meets Jonathan, her gorgeous, albeit grumpy neighbor across the lake, who also happens to be spending Christmas alone.
Oh,
I know.
Sounds cute. What did you think about it, or what did you like about it?
It was a short and sweet Hallmark Christmas movie, basically in a book format. There was more cussing and more spice. You don't see, a whole lot of banging in Hallmark movies, but
yeah.
It did have an interesting, like, the Lake House vibe. I don't know if you've ever seen the Lake House. It's the Keanu Reeves and what's her face? I forget her name. Movie back in like 2000s.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I won't ruin what the twist is there, but if you've seen the movie, you've read this book, you see the twist. But the spice was great. Again, very female forward. I enjoyed all of the Lord of the Rings references because nerd. And I may or may not have gone straight to Amazon to find a North Star necklace because the way she describes this necklace makes me like just want one. Aww. But I mean, it's a contemporary romance, right? Like, it's not going to be it. I heard it on TikTok, I think. Somebody said that like you read palate cleanser books, and I felt like this was very much a palate cleanser. Like, it was short, sweet, cute, not a whole lot of drama or energy to put into it. And
right.
I don't think you need to be put a lot of energy into books to be considered a reader, but for me personally, it's not going to go against the greats, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't think it's I mean, it is what it is. It's not a bad thing.
No, I think 3 stars is actually a pretty decent rating because 3 is, middle of the road. It's not a 2-star. It's not a 1-star. So of course, go read it. Like, if you like cozy contemporary romances, Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And D.L. Darby, the author, I love indie authors. She
Mm-hmm.
is so sweet. She like comments and reposts and everything that I ever post or like tag her in, which is
Oh,
awesome. And I
yeah.
love when authors do that because it just makes you want to read that stuff more, you know?
Yeah, it's really exciting when they I remember the first time it happened was with I think DV Lee and
Mm-hmm.
I like screenshotted it or something and sent it to you. I was like,
You
"Look."
did.
I
Look
was
at
so excited. So yeah, it's like it's just cool. It's a good feeling. And I'm sure it feels good for them too, like, "Oh wow, somebody's, talking about my book." And then
Mm-hmm.
we get all excited. It's almost I don't know. I think it's just cool cuz you could prop each other up that way and it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. Yeah.
Well, even on our side, like we love when people are like post or share our stuff,
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, yeah, I get so
Makes us so
excited.
excited.
I woke up early this morning and I was like, "We have," and it's so funny because like half the people following us, they have like thousands. Some even have hundreds of thousands of followers, and we got to like 300, and I'm losing my mind, texting
Absolutely.
back at like freaking 7 something in the morning, like, "Look, we have 302 followers," because it's so exciting for
We
us.
have,
Like,
we have. I know it
yeah,
is very
yeah,
exciting.
Merry Christmas. So it's like super, super exciting, but yeah, um, it
So
is a lot of
yeah.
fun.
So 3 stars, 4 spices, and like 2 eye rolls. Again, romance is always going to have at least one. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I started this month with a dark romance, Master of Salt and Bones by Carrie Lake. It is 552 pages and on KU. Isadora Quinn has a troubled past and a bleak future. She wants to leave behind the misery and scorn of her life, but she has few options. That's why she agrees to work as an assistant for the ailing mother of Lucian Blackthorn, the notorious devil of bone salt, who lives in a secluded mansion by the sea. Lucian is a man of secrets and sorrows who has shut himself off from the world and his feelings. But when he meets Issa, something stirs inside him that he can't ignore or deny. Issa sees through his mask and touches his soul, and together they face the challenges and dangers that threaten their happiness. But can they overcome the shadows of their past and find peace in each other's arms?
That gives me like the like Jane Eyre vibes. What did you like about it?
So what's funny is I have that classic on my TBR. I've never read it. So
That's
Jane
fine.
Eyre. It's on my TBR because I've seen a lot of good things about it.
Do you have Spotify Premium?
The one you pay for?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I got
So
it.
it's actually the audiobook is actually on Spotify Premium. So
Ooh, good to
instead,
know.
yeah,
Yeah. I do want to yeah, I want to read that one. But anyways, so I like the story to both main characters. Typical, yes. With her anyways, the broken girl, the poor
mm-hmm.
girl, but still her backstory was good and she was kind of an asshole, but in a good way.
Mm,
She wasn't all scared of the big bad man, which I could appreciate because there's a lot of stories where the girl's like, "Oh, he's so mean," cry.
right.
Like, no, she's um got a pretty strong backbone because her upbringing. She had kind of a rough life. His story had a lot of depth. His family is part of like an S&M cult, and
Oh,
they do medical experiments, and there are so many twists that saved this book. Is not that it was bad, it was just kind of typical, and then these twists started, and there were several, and I was like, holy shit, didn't see them coming. They were really, it was that made the book, but anyways, the spice was like chef's kiss, so it was done really well. um
oh.
I didn't like the typical things I don't like in these books. So you have talked about the "I'm so small and he's so big. He
Yes.
envelopes my frame." Like, I think sometimes you can leave that out. Like once is okay. Like, sure, if you want to explain that so I can get the visual, that's fine. But it's not necessary to do it over and over and
Mm-mm.
over. And it's done several times, and it's like, I know he's like, you already told me this. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, but I wish the burn was a bit slower, like a slow burn. I am a fan of that now.
Yes.
I get way more excited
It's a
when
little more satisfying, right?
it is, because there should be a bigger build up because of their backstory, because of how they met, and because their encounter. Like, it shouldn't be right away. It
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't. And
No.
it's not right away. I mean, there's a little bit, but it should have been more, in my opinion. And and it would have been more satisfying. Like,
Yeah.
oh, finally, you know,
A
'cause
better
it's like
payoff.
yeah, because it's like a lot of these books, like as soon as the tension's there, it happens, and it's like, no, I like when there's a little bit of tension for a while. Like I like that. I don't know why, I just do. But like I said, the twists like save this book because they were really good. I some of it you can kind of like maybe, but the way she wrote all the characters too, there is like you do question them, like I wonder, but I did not see the twist
Do
coming.
I like this person?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's it was good in that regard. I am a slow burn fan, and that's what you see now, and that's what you see a lot in fantasy and romantasy. And like I said in our last Thirsty episode, you know, I'm kind of gonna be leaning that way more
Yeah.
in the future, just because I I like that a lot. I found myself really enjoying that. But overall, 3.5 stars. The twists are very good. If it's not, I do recommend it. Like, sure, if you like dark romance, his backstory is a little different, which is nice, and there was a lot of twists that kept the plot very interesting. 3.5 spice, and the spice was done well, and 2 eye rolls.
Oh,
Yeah, so
not bad.
Not bad. No, not at all. And like I said, the twists. It would have been a 3-star, maybe 2.5-star book, but those twists were really good. So the writer did
Oh,
well. It was
and
really
that
good.
just makes me even more curious.
Yeah, yeah. So it was good. It was really good and interesting, and the twists are really good. I do recommend it. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
It does sound
Pretty good.
interesting.
Yeah, but there is the typical things. The typical girl. You just have to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm small and I'm poor and I had a hard life. Oh, and you're rich and you're mean. I mean, there's all that. But it was not annoying. Sometimes it's fucking annoying.
It wasn't so over the top that you couldn't get through the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was written well. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
While Stephanie was getting her dose of dark romance, I stumbled into Thomas Hardy's classic Far from the Madding Crowd. It is 433 pages. I listened to it via audiobook, but it can also be found on Kindle Unlimited. It is a Christmas adjacent tale of love, choices, and the irresistible power of fate. Why I picked this book is because TikTok kept showing, you know how TikTok like puts together, well, not TikTok, but the people, they put together edits of like different movies, and you're like, oh shit, this guy, I am in love with this guy. So that happened. It is a movie. I read it before I watched the movie. I will get into like my review and recommendation after I read this snippet that I found on the internet while I was putting together the script of this. You remember the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? In the story, a beautiful young woman has to choose between 3 men. One is too boring and creepy, one is too sexy and sleazy, and one is just right. Oh, wait, sorry. That's Far from the Madding Crowd we're talking about. In this novel by Thomas Hardy, we have not a love triangle, but a love rectangle, where 3 different men vie for the love of super pretty Bathsheba. This all goes down in the English countryside, which is supposed to be all birdies chirping and little lambs frolicking, but because of this insane foursome, devolves into insanity, dead babies, faked deaths, and jealous lovers shooting people in the chest. Wow. The title of Far from the Madding Crowd suggests that life is far easier once you leave the hustle and bustle of the big city and go find peace in the countryside. Ha! Not with these characters. They're playing head games and drinking cider and dealing with so much internal drama. It's a wonder that their crops get planted or harvested at all.
Oh my god. That sounds so fun, dude. Like so much drama and fun. That sounds fun. Like one of those books that like evoke a lot of emotions. Like, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, so as a classic, it is hard to rate because obviously the context is from 1867. We're not in 1867. So these characters, their thoughts, their dialogues are not going to be the same whatsoever. Right. Yeah. So you kind of have to put yourself inside of the period, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't always have the comprehension or the being able to sit down and read the classics. So I find listening to them helps with my comprehension a lot better. Like, so I don't have to put myself into how this would be read. It's already read for me, right?
Right. Right.
So I was able to keep up with the story a little more with the audiobook. It
Mm-hmm.
was written like poetry and was so descriptive in parts that it was almost overwhelming. So I feel like if I was reading the actual book, I would have just got stuck on those parts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I liked the story, loved the story. It showed how realistic turmoil and decisions can like break your life, basically.
Yeah.
Some parts did make me cringe, but of course it's a different time.
Yeah.
There was parts in there that are so progressive. Like Bathsheba owns her own farm. She is head of the farm. She does everything a farmer will do.
Oh,
But then
that's
like it
kind of
would
cool.
take 100 steps back, and then you're like, dude, I'm so frustrated. But I did love Gabriel Oak. He's the just right of all of those men.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did cry over William Boldwood, but that was more in the movie. I found him a little creepier in the book than the movie. But I legitimately cried during the movie. You should have
Oh.
seen me. But like I was mad, I was sad. I did the little kicky feets and the mouth covers, the gasps, like oh,
Yeah. Oh my
can you
god.
believe it? And like it had like
Yeah.
it all. It was a great story, but
That-
you know, classics are hard to read.
yeah. Yeah. So like I was just telling you, I have that classic book on my TBR.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a sentiment you get with a lot of the classic books, like just kind of hard to read and maybe better to listen to?
Yes, I would say
Yes.
so.
Okay.
Like I had Pride and Prejudice for a long time. I am a Pride and Prejudice girly. I watched every time my mom comes to visit, we watch the movie. But as far as like actually sitting down and reading it, you're like, this is dull. What? These people they just talk and they go and visit each other's houses. That's all they do. But once you listen to the audiobook and you get like the character voices and like you understand like the inflection of how they're saying things.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, this is a completely different story than I was reading.
You were reading it wrong. Almost.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's
and
good
like,
to know. So I should probably listen to
yeah, it's on Spotify.
yeah, you told me. Yeah. I'll do that then. For sure.
Yeah.
So do you recommend it?
Absolutely. I think I did actually, because my mom is one of those people that do have the comprehension level to read the classics. So I told her, like, you should pick up this book. This is like Pride and Prejudice, but like realistic. Because, like I said, Pride and Prejudice, they just go to each other's houses. That's like basically all they do.
Yeah.
Where this is like some dude gets shot. There's a dead baby. There's like there's an engagement that gets broken off, and like it's so much.
Yeah, it sounds fun. It really does.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And like I loved the movie. It has, I forget what her name is, but the movie is why I decided to read this book, because like if it's a book and a movie, I want to do both. I want to be able to, so I wanted to read the book and then watch the movie, and then I was like, I need to get through this book so I can watch the movie. And oh my god, the movie is amazing too. You should watch it. It's on Amazon.
Is it like newer or older, the movie?
I think it's 2008 or 9. Let me look.
Okay.
So not like too far off.
I mean, no, that seems
2015.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
It has Carey Mulligan. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't watch that.
She was, what's her face? Daisy in The Great Gatsby.
Oh, okay. I know that movie.
It has Michael Sheen, which he's the one that I cried over, and I love Michael Sheen. And like a whole bunch of other people. Have you seen Sandman on Netflix yet?
No.
Me neither, but I know but I know one of the characters is like the main guy, like the actor is the main guy of Sandman.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
Sandman, tangent. Oh my god. Sorry, everybody. But Sandman is by Neil Gaiman, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. Neil Gaiman. I've been hearing so much. He's like pops up everywhere now because like my daughter did a whole segment on him in school. So she was talking about him all the time. I'm like, you and like your aunt are going to have a lot of discussions when we go visit because she really enjoyed his writing too. So
what did they read? Do you know?
They read Coraline. Yeah, they did. But they also read a couple other things that he wrote, like short. I don't know if they were like short stories.
Yeah, he does
something because she did a whole like thing on him. They did him and Poe and a couple other. She's in advanced language arts, so she gets to kind of she's 8th grade, but she kind of goes deeper into stuff, which she loves. So
that's good.
She got to learn about that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was pretty neat for her. And I'm like, oh, you can talk to your aunt about this. But anyways, so you recommend the movie and the book?
Yep. 4 stars, no spice, obviously, and like 1 eye roll just for it being set in a different time.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I see you went the wholesome route.
Yep.
I, on the other hand, decided to read Slaughter Lake by David Viergetz and Jay Bauer. I think I said his name right. It's a slasher, 196 pages, also on KU. It's been years since Rebecca.
God damn it.
And her closest college friends vacationed at Slaughter Lake. What once was an annual trip became a distant memory filled with campfires and the peaceful, serene landscape of their exclusive vacation spot. Then, when an unlikely invitation calls them to return to where their fondest memories were created, it seems impossible to ignore.
Of course it's Rebecca. What did you like about it?
Okay. Oh, and Rebecca goes by Beck.
Oh, of course.
Oh, and Rebecca's tall.
Oh.
So you guys have a lot in common.
But she's taller than me, right?
She is. She's like a volleyball player. But I remember I sent you a clip of the book because like a little line because it was her boyfriend and talking about how they were eye level, and she's like a volleyball player. She's really tall. So I was like, oh,
appreciation post here.
Yes. So, and it was funny because she goes by Beck, and I'm like, this is weird. The spelling's different, but it was just weird because I'm like, this is kind of creepy. Like, do you know David Viergetz or Jay Bauer?
No, I do not.
Okay. So this was 100% a slasher book at its finest. If you like typical slasher films, I do. You'll like this book. It's all very typical, but I just ate it up. There's the semi-responsible couple and the burnout couple and the weird fifth wheel, and they're reunited after years of not really speaking to each other, keeping in touch. They go to a cabin that they used to go to when they were young, and guess what? It's secluded. Guess what? They can't get away. I mean, it's all the things. It's just everything. Even the banter, like, even though it was like corny, it was so perfect. You watch those slasher films when all the friends are like, hanging out before like it goes to shit. It's like corny. It's like cheesy, and I fucking love it. So I'm like reading it. And if I was reading like a serious book, I'd be so annoyed with the banter. But in this book, I'm like, like it's so perfect. So, so there is a lot of triggers. It is a slasher book, so yes, there is some brutality. It's not so much in a grotesque manner like splatterpunk, which is just way over the top and it's shocking, but it's still brutal. I mean, it's a slasher. It is brutal. I thought it was a fun read. I know that sounds messed up.
I was gonna say.
You know how I am.
You beat me to it.
It was fun. So it's just like when you watch like Halloween or any of those, it's like a fun I don't know, I'm weird. Not much to dislike, to be honest. I mean, I went in and got what I thought I was going to get from this book. It was recommended me by so J.R. Thomas on TikTok. He had left a comment on the little aesthetic I made for No One Rides for Free. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's like, I have recommendations, but it's depending on your triggers and stuff. So I ended up messaging him, and he sent me all these reviews he did on all these books because he's like, well, what do you like? And I'm like, oh, I like this, that, and this. So we like put together, because he also reviews tons of splatterpunk horror and slasher books, and his reviews are actually really funny. Like he cracks me up. So yeah, you should give him a watch. He's pretty funny. But I went through his recommendations, and this was the only one on KU. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a go. And it was a lot of fun. It wasn't like an earth-shattering, like, oh my god, wow, book. And it wasn't supposed to be. So
No.
Also, I made an aesthetic for this book, and both authors commented. So I got so excited. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god,
So
look at that.
I get so excited for that. But anyways, so I do recommend this if you were a fan of like your classic slasher films. Reading it seems a little bit more intense than watching it, I will say. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
If especially how your imagination is. So it is brutal. Like, I know I'm saying it's fun, but I mean that, like, think if you were
like, it's campy,
reading,
like,
yeah, it's just, if you like those kind of movies, I think you would really enjoy the book. I gave it 3 stars. 1 spice, it really wasn't that much, and then 3 eye rolls, but in the best way, if that makes any sense. It's just like the movies you see. So I loved it. It reminded me of like a 90s. I just loved it. So yeah, it was fun. It was a very fun read.
Good.
Yeah. So what's next for you?
I continued my Christmas adjacent books.
So good.
I just like being festive, and this year it wasn't quite as like on the point as it has been in previous years. I wish we would have done this podcast like earlier, like last year, because everything I read last year was like fairies and elves and fantasy.
Yeah.
And this year is just like, well, I read.
Yeah.
I dove into Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and it was translated by J.R.R. Tolkien, which, okay, J.R.R. Tolkien is fantasy, but not like, the sexy fantasy we're used to. This is a epic medieval poem of 158 pages, but I did listen to it on Spotify. It is part of the Spotify Premium. Okay. That's where I read it or listened to it. I do believe if you find like a different translation, it is also on Kindle Unlimited, but I don't think the J.R.R. Tolkien version is. Okay. But I mean, the translation is translation.
Yeah.
It's Christmas at Camelot. This is why I read it. And King Arthur won't begin the feast until he has witnessed a marvel of chivalry. A mysterious knight, green head to toe, rides in and brings the court's wait to an end with an implausible challenge to the round table. He will allow any of the knights to strike him once with his battle axe on the condition that he is allowed to return the blow 1 year hence. Okay,
so this sounds pretty interesting. I've seen a lot of medieval books, or movies, I'm sorry, but not read a lot of books. So this does kind of intrigue me a little. So how was it?
It was a very cool premise. Like, I remember explaining, because it also is a movie. Also watched this movie. I made Jeff watch this movie with me, actually, and he said he actually liked this movie. So
wow,
I know,
that's big for him.
It's huge for him.
Yeah.
But like, there are major different. So it's a poem, right? So it's kind of written in weird stanzas and kind of like Shakespearean almost. So you get that, again, is why I listened to it instead of reading it, is because I knew I was going to get lost somewhere in the whatever.
Yeah.
The endings are completely different.
Okay.
I gave it 4 stars because I'm a Tolkien simp. Like, I think it is an important literature for, I don't know, the human race, let's say, because like, it's one of those stories that it was told instead of written. So it's like, it's part of our history, right?
Right.
So I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just now realizing that my first like 3 independent reads, we're gonna skip the buddy read. This month were like intertwined. Peppermint Kisses mentioned Tolkien, which this was translated by Tolkien. It also mentions Bathsheba and David, which is like a Bible story, which, far from the madding crowd, Bathsheba is the main character.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's crazy.
It's like loosely based on that story too. So like, whoa, like, why?
That's pretty cool.
Wow. There was no spice, but there is like a very lusty wife that comes on to Sir Gawain a couple of times. Okay. And there is 2 dudes kiss.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, I'm just part of our spice, quote unquote. But no eye rolls. Like it's just a fun little go watch the movie.
Yeah, I will. I think I will. Especially if Jeff liked it, because he don't like anything. So he's not big on the movies. You know, he's just not. He just sees them and he's like, So for him to like it makes me want to watch it.
I was like, will you watch a Christmas movie with me? And he's like, fuck no. I'm like, no. Will you watch The Green Knight with me? He's like, oh yeah, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So remember how I said I'm going to be sprinkling in dark romance from now on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, oops. So I read another one.
Oh.
But in my defense, it was a masked man in a band.
Oh.
Like Sleep Token? I don't know.
Oh.
I had to.
Of course you did. I know.
So I read Madness, a young decay novel by Jack Whitney. It was 298 pages and it is on Kindle Limited. So our FMC Andy has been dodging getting assigned to photograph her brother's rock band, Young Decay. That is until one of the photographers tries to get a photo of the band's most elusive and private member. So she ends up getting assigned to her brother's band, which she has been trying to avoid, and she ends up returning home. And but home comes with fears that she's been running from for years now. However, she doesn't expect that someone with a past as dark as hers may be the key to overcoming the traumas. Someone who happens to be her brother's best friend, Young Decay's masked bassist, Mads Touring, or as she knows him, Maddox Keynes.
So the entire time you're just Sleep Token, imagining Sleep Token in your brain movie.
It wasn't that good though.
Oh no, what did you like?
It is a dual perspective book. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay.
I like the band part, I guess. In the beginning, you ever read a book that has like a playlist?
Yes, I love that.
So the playlist was epic. I will say.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Now I can move on to what I didn't like. So it unfortunately missed the mark for me. The build up, I mean, it really wasn't. And then they hook up, and then it becomes porn with plot at that point. More porn than plot, in my opinion. There was a few things happening in the story, of course. But the main issue is her brother cannot find out, or else everything is doomed. The band will be over. Blah 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 blah. No, you just had to talk to him.
But why?
But that's what happened. You just have to be like, I'm in love with your stepsister, and then he'd be like, oh, okay.
Oh, there's step siblings?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just
Huh.
Nah. I was so sad. I'm like, this is why I don't read this as much.
But this is
why
I'm sprinkling it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess if that happened though, there wouldn't be too much to this story. So yeah. But I was expecting more story, longer build up. And just again,
it was 300 pages. And there's no story?
I mean, there's story, but it's kind of
but not a good story.
Yeah, it fell flat. And I hate how it should have been a slow burn based on the whole concept of the story. Like we was saying earlier, this shouldn't have been so quick with all the things. But I don't know, I'm thinking band. I'm thinking characters with depth and meaning and deep and whoa, I'm expecting all this because in my brain it was Sleep Token and they're very deep and meaningful, and I'm like, oh well, obviously this, and it was not that. I wasn't a big fan of it, so I gave it 2 stars. I did finish it, whatever.
5 spice.
5 spice. It's very
wow.
Yeah, and 3 eye rolls. It was not that good.
I should have made that into a sticker.
Yeah.
Do not recommend.
Yeah, I do not recommend that book. It's not the best. So,
well, we're going to go from one bummer to another bummer because I read Hidden Sea by Gregory Maguire. It is 304 pages and it is not on KU. So I bought this shit.
Oof.
It is The backstory of the Nutcracker, revealing how this entrancing creature came to be carved and how he guided an ailing girl named Clara through dreamy paradise on Christmas Eve. At the heart of Hoffman's mysterious tale hovers Godfather Drosselmeyer, the ominous, uncanny, one-eyed toy maker made immortal by who was made immortal by Pepita and Chafosky's fairy tale ballet, who presents the once and future Nutcracker to Clara, his goddaughter. I'm going to highlight this. Can you pronounce this?
Tchaikovsky?
I made Jeff do that too. And both of you pronounced it correctly. And I assume that's just because you watch too much hockey.
Oh, it could be.
I was like, Jeff, how do you pronounce this? Because I was getting ready for this.
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
What did you say?
Oh, no, I know. Because, like.
Well, you know who, yeah, well, it's a famous composer person, right? Or a playwright? I don't know. There's somebody famous. He's
a ballet.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard the name, but.
Yeah. Every year, I don't know if you know this about me, but every year I watch the Nutcracker. I either watch it like at the local ballet or I watch it on the TV, the Macaulay Culkin version. But yeah,
cute.
I fucking love the Nutcracker. It's the only story that does not involve Jesus or Santa. It's the only Christmas fun fact. But I was really disappointed with this because so the guy that wrote Wicked, you know, the like Broadway superstar.
Yeah, I know what Wicked is. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote this too, so I was like expecting, you know, awesome.
Yeah.
And like it was beautifully written. It had a lot of imagery and it, you know, you got the brain movie and like I'm going to go on a tangent again. I thought the idea of using mesmer was interesting. So Snapple fun facts with Beck. We get the term mesmerize from this 18th century doctor named Franz Anton Mesmer. He thought, well, okay, he had a lot of crazy theories about the body and like liquids and stuff. If you want to know what he's all about, go listen to episode 37 of Sawbones. Sawbones is a great podcast, by the way. But that, like, it's a podcast about all the crazy medical stuff we used to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
But aside from that, like, and I just knew about this dude because I listened to this podcast. Like, had I not known about this dude, I would have probably been like so confused and had no idea what was going on.
Oh, so is it it's kind of like almost pretentious because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
I don't like that.
I felt like it just dragged on. Like, you don't get to the Clara part, which is like, she's the whole story of the Nutcracker centers around Clara. You don't get it to her until like 90% in.
Oof.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And then like there's characters that I felt like just didn't make sense, like to the story whatsoever. They were just put in and like the beginning is really confusing and it doesn't really matter ever again. And then there's like, there's also passages in there that I think were intended to be confusing because like Drosselmeyer grows up in like the middle of nowhere in the forest. So like he doesn't know human interaction. Okay, cool. Right. But like, I know what this is. Can you not just explain it in a way that I know because I'm the person reading this?
Right.
Yeah. So
okay.
I was confused a lot.
Ooh.
And I think that's probably why it felt like it dragged because I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, you finished it though.
I did last night.
Well, I give you that.
Because
that sounds like something I would be like, no.
I paid for it.
Yeah, that's true. It is a different feeling when you pay for it. Is there like art in it or anything?
The front is art, but no.
Ooh,
and the main character, Drosselmeyer, was so boring. And then in like the actual like ballet, he's like this eccentric, weird dude that like brings all the children gifts, and like he's like so one-dimensional in the book. And I was like, this isn't my Nutcracker.
This isn't it. Well, that sucks that it, fell file.
Yeah, like I should have just reread Sugar and Spice. That's okay. So that's another Nutcracker retelling, but and I kind of I'm hesitant to mention this book too. It's called Winter Dream by Chantal Gaderoy. I'm only hesitant to mention it because it's, as far as I can tell, it's only on audiobook. I listened to a lot of books this year, apparently.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the physical book. So if you're really interested, it is the closest reimagination I could find to the actual like story of the Nutcracker. So go check that out if you're interested. But I mean, Sugar and Spice is on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
Stay away from Hidden Sea.
Good to know.
Wow, we had our fair share of diverse reads this December, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did.
It is amazing how literature can transport us to different worlds, evoke emotions we never knew existed, and provide an escape from reality.
Absolutely, Beck. So we hope our little adventure through these amazing novels inspires our listeners to pick up a book and explore different genres, because as you can see, we're all over the place, and discover some hidden treasures within the pages.
What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading Court This Cruel and Lovely by, is it Stasia or Stacia? Stacia. How would you pronounce that?
Stacia
Stark. It's book 1, Kingdom of Lies, book 1. So it's a fantasy, and so far I can't pronounce some of the stuff, but the story itself is pretty good. So yeah. What are you reading right now?
So I signed up for Book Sirens. I think I shared the link with you.
You did, yes.
Yeah, it's an ARC website, I guess. So I am currently reading Crimson Promises by Joycelyn Blue. It should come out on the 27th.
Okay.
This episode that we're currently recording is going to come out on the 28th. So by the time this episode comes out, I've already read it and reviewed it on Goodreads. But I also wanted to mention, and I shared this with you as well, I have gotten back into Webtoon. I am currently reading Atnaman by Illustrain. It's on Webtoon. I believe it's also on TappyTunes. It is a story about a gargoyle and this girl, and I love it. So go check it out.
Cool.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
You know, my daughter had Webtoons.
Yeah.
And I had to get rid of that.
You should have gotten rid of it. You can
I did. I did. I was like, what is this? And there was some story, and what she was reading wasn't bad. But
yeah.
I started looking up stuff on it, and I'm like, you have to delete that. You can't have that. So yeah. It's crazy how kids just Yeah.
So. I remember being that kid.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, you can't have that, sweetheart.
But try.
Yeah.
So, dear viewers, which of these captivating reads caught your attention? Let us know in the QA section of this episode in the comments below. And remember to subscribe and share novelty with fellow book enthusiasts. Also, just wanted to give everyone the heads up that we will have 2 Thirsty episodes next month. One will be on the 11th. It will showcase our 2023 Goodreads Wrapped. Love the Wrapped
me too.
Trend, by the way.
Yes.
And one will come out on the 18th, and we will be discussing our goals for the 2024 year. Hold on, I think I had something else too. Oh yeah, we also have a YouTube. So if you are not a Spotify lover, enjoyer, enthusiast, go find us on YouTube. I feel like that's just going to be the most interactive for all of us. So that's all I had.
Let's tell everyone what our buddy read will be.
Oh yeah, our read with S&B. That's right.
Read with S&B, because we want you guys to join us and read this book, and then we can get into it our next episode. Yeah. Yes.
It is The Ever King by L.J. Andrews, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. It again is one of those things that we've seen all over TikTok. It is also on Kindle Unlimited, so it's a little more accessible to everybody. Seen a lot of things about it, so hopefully it's worth the hype.
Read it with us.
Read it with us, yes.
And then we'll talk about it on the next novelty monthly episode, because we also have the Thirsty episodes. If you haven't been with us long, we do 2 well, it's
formats.
typically, yeah. So we have the thirsty, which is a little less structured than this, and we give each other like, what do we call it? KU cringe.
KU cringe, yes.
And we pick out like the cringiest books for each other. Check us out. Check the thirsty episodes out. They're a lot of fun. But next month we will be talking about this book, so we'd really love for you guys to read it with us.
Yes, absolutely. Please. We would love to interact with you guys.
Yes. But other than that, that's all for today. I'm your co-host Stephanie.
And I'm Beck.
And this has been Novelty with S&B. See you in the next chapter.
Okay, so what were your theories going into The Silent Patient? Because I saw on our Goodreads, which we also do have a group on Goodreads. I know we're like everywhere, but it's better to cast a wide net to catch all of you guys. But we do have a group on Goodreads. I saw that you posted on there that you had a lot of theories. What were your theories going in?
I plan on being a little more active on that too. It's just it's December and I have been so
it's
busy.
the holidays.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. But I do want to post on there a little bit more because I think it'll be fun for our listeners to do it as well. But anyways, so I honestly, I did kind of see this as being a theory, but what was weird was, and you mentioned this, it kind of like cheats.
It does cheat. That's why I'm so mad. Okay.
It does cheat. And you're like, oh,
okay. Had this been the whole
because I'm reading it and I'm like, there's a lot of like commonalities between what's going on in his life. You kind of see like how it could be that, but it didn't make sense because of the timeline. And then it cheats. I thought it was going to be like a Shutter Island, like he's nuts.
Like really he was actually a patient the whole time.
Yes, and I, of course, when you're thinking that, you're like, well, a lot of stuff wouldn't make sense, but authors have a way of like
twisting.
Yeah, they can do that. So, I kind of thought it was going to be that, and of course, the people who like gave me weird vibes, it was almost too obvious. I'm like, well, it's not going to be this person because they're trying too hard to make him seem creepy and mysterious. And they, the friend, what was the friend's name? I can't remember.
I can't even remember.
They're like a French name, but like the author wrote him in such a way where I knew, I'm like, you're trying too hard to make him look like the bad guy.
It's obviously not this person.
Yeah, like it was weird that because I think that's what the author was going for. Like, ooh, maybe, but I didn't get that at all. I'm like,
it might be this person because
I didn't have that. So, what did you have any theories?
No, it was basically the same thing. Like, I thought he was the patient, or I thought like she didn't actually do it. Like she was set up for it, and she like didn't want to tell anybody that like who actually did it. I also thought like the husband actually shot him like himself, and then like she just got blamed for it. Like there for a while, I thought that was the theory because like of course if you see that happen, you're not going to talk ever again. So like I thought it was just like she was set up, but no. Spoiler, she actually does it.
Yeah, I thought and I think the character, the brother, was Max. Was that the brother's name? I think he was written a little too like, you want me to think it's him. But his story did kind of just like, I mean, I don't know. And then how did like Theo get away with everything?
Well, that's put up to speculation, right? Because the last few pages,
but up until then he did.
No, yeah. Like, so 6 years went by and
fucking fingerprints and I mean, people could figure shit out.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it was just kind of...
You definitely have to suspend disbelief or whatever it's called when you're reading it, because you're like, well, but actually, if I hate to be that guy, but if you don't know,
I have a hard time with that. Like, I have a hard time with like, if you're writing and it's not like this book is meant to be realistic, but the way it's written makes me think it is. So I'm thinking of it like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, does that make sense? Like, I want it to make sense. And for me, it was just kind of like, it was a good, and maybe if I had thought about this, I'm like, maybe if I didn't know there was a twist, because I knew it says it on the cover, everyone talks about the twist, and maybe I wouldn't have seen it coming, and it would have been like a little more, oh wow. But I was literally fucking dissecting everything I was reading because I was, I knew it was coming. So that could have been part of it too.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like you almost have like a notebook to the side and you're like, well, this happened.
Well,
does this screwdriver mean anything?
I got, and I did like, I know you said you're not a big mystery reader. I would like to give it another try. Because I kind of like I kind of like the what the hell's going on. I do. I like that feeling.
Oh, I have the perfect book for you then, actually.
Is it the one that you told me already, or is this a new one?
It's called the
Hawthorne thingies.
No. This is called the Magpie Murders, I think.
Okay.
It's also, it kind of does teeter the edge of like a detective, but I think he's a writer in this one. Okay. He's trying to figure out like what happened to, I think it's the maid or something. It's been so long since I read it, but yeah, you can. I have the physical copy. You can take it with you when you come. But my mom read it and she said that, you know, it's pretty good. So
yeah, I don't know. I'd like to give some more mysteries a chance, because I just, like I said, I don't want the whole like cop. Yeah, it's just not my vibe. Like I don't like those shows. I don't watch Law and Order. I don't watch any of that stuff. Like that's never been a thing I've enjoyed. So I don't think I really, I don't think I'd really enjoyed reading it if I didn't even like watching it. So
right, yeah.
Personally, so
I think that's why I like T. Kingfisher's horror novels too, is because it does have a little air of mystery to it, where you're like trying to figure out.
Yes.
What the fuck is going on?
I need to read. Okay, I need to read. I'm doing the tangent thing.
It's fine.
What Moves the Dead?
Episode.
Because when does the next one come out? February?
Yeah, February.
Okay, I need to read it before then for sure.
So that one's more of like a fantasy horror.
Okay.
Apparently, like my friend Lauren, you know Lauren, our biggest fan, Lauren. She didn't like it so much, but that's, I mean, that's going to happen. Like things are going to be missing for certain people, and I liked it. I didn't give it a 5-star. I don't think it's like her best, but I like the twist. I like
I want to read it.
It is.
Yeah, I want to read it. I really liked I think my favorite by her would be The Hollow Places.
Yeah, that's like the mascot of our podcast.
Yeah, I really liked. Yeah, I recommend it to a lot of people. I really like The House with Good Bones. I think I don't prop that one up enough because that was really good. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, that was a good.
That was a really good book. Yeah, Roses.
Yeah, dude. And I just I'll go on and on again about her, so I'll stop because I will talk about how amazing she is for like 45 minutes. She's just so good. She
is. The way she writes is just so
perfect.
I know. I love it.
She's the best. Yeah. So
that concludes our spoiler. I don't know what we're going to call this segment, but
we'll
figure it out.
Yeah, help us. Give us some ideas. So I really hope you guys read with us, and we will talk about it, and we will be a little more interactive, and it would just be fun. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts.
We would absolutely love to be more interactive with the listeners of the show. With this, we're getting bigger, so I hope that like as we get bigger, the more interaction we get. And
I think it'd be fun once in a while. We can like bring somebody on to talk with us about the book. Like, how fun would that be? Like, we want to be able to do things like that. So
yeah, absolutely, that would be great.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. The giveaway's been a blast. I know. I've really been enjoying it. Yeah, I'm super excited every day. It's so much fun. So, but so I think that's it for our spoiler
edition. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks
for hanging out with us.
See you in the next chapter. Bye.
Bye.